Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my journey to Islam on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. It is indeed a privilege and a blessing to have with us in Alhikmat studio Sister Kadijah Ali. Sister Kadijah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's really nice to have you with us, and as a person who have accepted Islam 36 years ago, we would like to hear a little bit about your background, your experience, and how you feel being a Muslim, and how have you benefited in being a Muslim. And your words and your experience will definitely benefit our viewers who are worldwide. So we want you to stay tuned so we can hear a little bit from Sister Kadijah Ali about her experience in being a Muslim.
All praises are due to Allahu Allah. All praises are due to Allahu Allah. Allahu 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 Allah. Allahu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Since 9/11, there has been a great fear of Islam.
We need Muslims, I always say, to speak up in this country.
Much of our Islamic community is perceived to be insular.
Most Americans have never met a Muslim or are not aware of having met a Muslim.
Most people don't have enough education in terms of what the entirety of Islam represents.
It's very easy to hate someone or to put stereotypes on people that you've never interacted with.
But do you think if Muslims were more integrated in society, in America, in the United States of America, then there would have been less anti-Muslim scenario?
I think it's even more important that our clergy speak up. They are, after all, the moral force in our community.
You see, the Islam that is celebrated is one which opens its doors.
Having this type of dialogue in terms of a community outreach, or
Something that Muslims have to do is go out just like you do and inviting non-Muslims to the iftar. And you do a lot of speaking to mixed groups.
We have to change the language from us versus them to a language of we.
I believe that if we can stand together against the forces of hatred and be unified in this country, then we can do wonderful things.
Bringing us together to enhance the beauty of humankind.
I think religion can be such a powerful force for unity.
Of course.
We've made it into this powerful force for disunity.
Keep trying to understand each other and care for each other and keep building a world community, because I believe that's what God wants for us all.
And I'm in their mosques and they're in my temple, and it's been a phenomenal experience. I've had a very warm and welcoming experience from all the brothers and sisters in the community.
That every human being is either your brother in faith or brother in humanity.
In Arabic, the word is lita'arafu, so that you will learn to understand one another.
And this is the truth of what it should be. You see, this is why I am so pleased to come here today, to support the work of Alhikmat.
The kind of intolerance and the violence that we see across the globe is rooted in ignorance, which we can overcome by teaching.
Yes.
Also rooted in fear, which we can overcome by experiencing, where we can actually live in each other's presence. It's rooted in this myopic kind of my way only, rather than this understanding that maybe all of us have more in common, and at the core of who we are is this truly global family that we belong to.
I'd like to say what a joy and pleasure it is to have Shaikh Shafayat as my friend, as my teacher, as my co-worker in the vineyard of Allah, God, where we work together to make this world a better place, to do God's work, to do the work which we are commanded to do as human beings.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my journey to Islam on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. It is indeed a privilege and a blessing to have with us in Alhikmat studio Sister Kadijah Ali. Sister Kadijah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's really nice to have you with us, and as a person who have accepted Islam 36 years ago, we would like to hear a little bit about your background, your experience, and how you feel being a Muslim, and you know, how have you benefited in being a Muslim. And your words and your experience will definitely benefit our viewers who are worldwide. So we want you to stay tuned so we can hear a little bit from Sister Kadijah Ali about her experience in being a Muslim. So now that you have accepted Islam 36 years ago, normally we do a lot of interviews and talk shows with people who are recent reverts or converts to Islam, as we say. But it's interesting to hear a little bit from you, because you're a little unique in the sense that, based on our conversation before we went on the show, you accepted Islam through your marriage.
Yes.
All right? But then there are a lot of people who accept Islam, get married, but forget about Islam. And it is so nice to know that you have accepted Islam. That's the means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used for you to get hidayah. And Allah has many different ways of using for people to get hidayah. All right? So tell our audience, tell us a little bit about when you accepted Islam. Did you voluntarily, did you willingly accept Islam, or you felt that you were forced to accept Islam so that you could get married? And I'm asking you these questions so viewers, you know, they could understand better, because a lot of people go through these kind of experiences.
Well, my religion at birth was Hinduism. And through marriage, I was converted. I accepted. Islam was readily accepted for me.
So you were Hindu before?
Yes.
Well, that's interesting, very interesting. So what was your name before?
My name before was Irene.
Irene.
Irene Harinoth.
Irene Harinoth, interesting. And were you a very practicing Hindu?
Yes, I was, but I don't remember too much of it now.
Oh.
Because I've been...
So you would go to the mandir?
I haven't gone to the mandir in a long time. But
I know, but before you got married, you went to the mandir?
Yes.
So you would attend the regular puja and the regular prayer rituals, etc.?
Yes.
That's very interesting. And when you got married, you willingly accepted Islam. You did not feel like you were pressured to accept Islam to get married. You're saying that you did it voluntarily.
Yes. I readily accepted it, and Islam is my religion.
Wow, 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 wow. That is interesting. And did you change your name when you get married? When did you adopt this name, Kadijah?
My mother-in-law gave me that name, and the same day that I got married, she started calling me Kadijah, and Kadijah is my name from then till today.
Good. That is nice. That is nice. After getting married, Did you feel strange being a Muslim? Did you feel uncomfortable? Did you feel like excited to want to practice this religion of Islam or this way of life of Islam?
I was interested and I wanted to learn more. So I used to read up on some of the things and wanted to better myself in being a Muslim and a better Muslim.
And I think that's the point, you were interested. You see, there are a lot of people who get married, just to be more realistic, they convert, they get married, and they just don't care. They're not interested in knowing about Islam, so they never learned anything. And sometimes they would just look at Muslims and Muslims who don't practice Islam, and then use that as a measurement for them not to practice Islam. But that's interesting of you coming from a Hindu background and you're interested in learning. So in addition to being interested, you would read a lot about Islam?
Yes, I would read a lot about Islam.
Well, what was your career or your profession before? What were you, what is your expertise, etc.?
Well, I was a teacher, teaching children for about, I would say about 18, 19 years.
So you loved the profession of teaching?
Yes, yes.
Hence you were interested in reading?
Yes.
And knowing about Islam?
Yes.
Wow, that is interesting. What about, you know, was it easy in getting into learning how to pray, Salah?
Actually, I asked one of my neighbor, and she came over and she was showing me how to do it, and I started to do it reading the English, and I learned it in the English, and it was a lot to learn in the English, and then I started to do it in the English Arabic.
Okay, so you learned to pray the Salah or the prayer in English? In
English. After which I started to do it in the English Arabic. My pronunciation was funny. My sister-in-law said that I sound funny, but now that I'm reading the Quran, I can see myself correcting myself from the Arabic English in prayer.
Interesting. So where was this? Where was your neighbor? Where did all of this happen?
Oh, back in my home in Trinidad.
In Trinidad, that is
Yes.
interesting. Very interesting. What part of Trinidad?
Freeport. It's lime fruit trace Freeport, but it's funny, they say it's lime fruit trace, but the whole trace was full of cashew trees.
Interesting. Well, you know, Trinidadians like the lime. So anything they will call a lime, even if it means a cashew.
Yeah.
They will go and eat cashew and say we're going to lime. But anyhow, that's just a little colloquial fun about Trinidad. But I would have never realized a thing that you were from Trinidad. That is interesting. That is news to me. Interesting. And your neighbor was a Muslim, and your neighbor would come and teach you. But you know, that's so interesting that you would make the time to ask a neighbor to come and teach you. I mean, that is great credit towards you, and that is very motivational to people. Because I know a lot of people who have accepted Islam for years. You know, there are those people who convert to Islam. So their zeal and their enthusiasm is all about wanting to know about Islam, so they convert. But many a times, I'm not saying all the time, because there are great exceptions and many exceptions, but there are many people who become Muslim by converting, and they never make any effort towards practicing Islam. And you are a great motivation in that aspect. I think you are really, look at the things. Your neighbor would come and teach you to pray, and first you learned it in English.
Yes.
Wow, that is interesting. And then you started reading what? The transliteration?
In the Arabic.
Yeah, in the English form Arabic, which is
Yes.
called transliteration. Wow, that is fantastic. What else would you like to tell us about your beginning of Islam and some of your experiences, how interesting it was, how strange it was, what would have been funny, what would have been frustrating, what would have been encouraging? You see, it's all an experience, it's all a journey, and it's all a learning experience that our viewers can benefit from.
Well, first of all, when I was converted, my neighbors, my Muslim friends around, they were very kind. They were willing to help me. They were accepting. So that make it easy for me, and I have no regrets.
So you felt very welcome?
Yes.
That is interesting. All right, so that's one thing in a positive line. What else did you feel very motivated by?
Oh, I used to sit and wait for the time, look at the time, and try to read my 5 daily salah. I would look at the time.
Wow.
And I would do that.
So you would look forward to praying your 5
yes,
times salah?
Even up to now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I even memorized the 100 name of Allah. And in all of my 5 salah that I prayed during the day, I would more or less chant the 100 name after every fard.
Wow, 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 that is interesting. In the beginning, in your early days in accepting Islam, was there anything that sort of frustrated you, or you did not understand, or it was confusing, or it was difficult? I mean, I just want to know, our viewers can benefit so that others can understand better.
Honestly, I was not confused or get frustrated. I never did.
So what about a culture that other people practiced that were not Islamic, and you saw people practicing a lot of things and it's not Islamic? Did that in any way confused your understanding about Islam?
No, because I come to realize that people have different religion and different views, and that's their belief. And this was my belief.
I know, and I mean Muslims. Muslims who would have not been practicing Islam, but would have been doing everything other than practicing Islam. Did that in any way confuse you or frustrated you?
No.
You had your agenda, you're a Muslim, you wanted to know what Islam is about and how you can be a better Muslim.
Yes, and everybody have to face God, so you know.
And face their responsibilities and their duties, etc. That is interesting, because I mean, you're a well-read person, so therefore you looked at it more from a very educational point of view. That's fascinating. What else would you like to share with our audience about your early days as a Muslim? I know it's a couple of years now. It's like how many years? 36 years now?
36
years now
36,
you accepted Islam.
Yes.
But it's interesting to look at that journey from then to now, coming from a Hindu background. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. I also would teach my children. I used to stand up and read the Salah, and they would follow me in my way until they learned it the right way.
So they learned it the right way.
Yes.
What about your relatives? Did they have a problem with you becoming Muslims?
No, they didn't. Yeah.
That is interesting. Very interesting. And that is very nice. And I suppose back in Trinidad, people don't really have a problem in a person choosing a religion, generally speaking.
I think that is true. Yeah.
Generally speaking, you know, it's not like in other countries where it becomes a family war and it becomes a big wall between relatives and family members and friends. Trinidad, because it's multicultural, multi-faith, people sort of have that freedom of choice, and they sort of tolerant of each other and very understanding of other people's faith. I mean, but I'm amazed 36 years ago that it was so smooth going and everybody sort of understood and were well, you know, were welcoming to you. Even the non-Muslims
Yes.
who knew that you gave up Hinduism and became a Muslim, they were also nice with you. Because people really, you know, back in the days, if you look at Trinidad and the culture and people coming from India, Hindus, Christians, Muslims all came together. They were neighbors, they were friends. They came from a very multicultural background.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But what do you think about nowadays? Do you think they still have that? When last have you visited Trinidad?
I was in Trinidad, I would think like about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, 3 or 4 years
Yes,
ago.
and even though I will say Assalamu alaikum to my brother and sister, they would answer me back.
Hindus.
Yes, they will answer me back.
Your Hindu brother, your Hindu sister.
Yeah, they will answer me back in the Arabic way, in the Islamic way.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, they're very loving people. You know, the Hindus come from a very humble and loving background. That's my experience with people from a Hindu background, from India, in Trinidad, in different countries. But besides your family, who are welcoming with you and everything else, what do you think about Trinidad in general when you went back 3 years ago? Do you think that people are letting religion be a means of separation? They are now getting more religious and they're building more walls against each other. What's your perspective? I mean, as a person from Hinduism to Islam, as a Muslim now, what do you see? Do you see any changes? Do you see, is it the same way? But you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How people were very loving, there were no differences. You choose to be a Muslim, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Christian. But now that people are getting more religious, you know what I'm saying? With social media, with their own development, do you see people segregating?
Well, the thing is now people are more busy, but they still take their religion, to me, very seriously. Whether it's Muslim or Hindu, they do. They all take their religion seriously.
Right. You mean, well, those who are religious?
Yes. Yes.
Because Trinidad got some interesting people. They don't care about religion. There are some people just don't care. But at the end of the day, they are conscious that Trinidad is a very religious conscious country.
Yes,
it is. Trinidad is known to have religious personalities, and religion has a big voice in Trinidad.
Yes.
So that's interesting. So very interesting. Very interesting. So that is a wonderful experience. I think that is very motivational for other people who have become Muslims and did not and thought it's difficult to be a practicing Muslim. Have you come across people who got married, became Muslims, but think that Islam is too difficult to follow?
No, I have not met anyone like that. Everyone that I know would still go to the masjid and do their prayer. I never really met anyone who would make excuse.
So before we go on a short break, we have to go on a short break. We have been talking for at least about 20 minutes now. What would you like to share with our audience? Because when we come back after the short break, I want to touch a little bit on your new experience and effort in the field of reading and writing Arabic. So we want to talk a little bit about that when we come back after the short break. But before we go on the short commercial break, what would you like to share with our audience? Anything about your beginning and when you accepted Islam and what you experienced and whatever?
To me, Islam is beautiful. It's a very calm, pleasant, and it makes people honest. It can even people can be very kind, and you get the best out of people. They can also be very charitable.
You know, many a times we talk to people from a Christian, Jewish background. We don't normally talk to people from a Hindu background, Muslims from a Hindu background. I mean, even though I got a lot of Hindu families, oh yeah, I got a lot of Hindu families, but I'm not here to interview myself. I'm talking to you. You know, my uncles, my aunts are Hindus here. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. I got my father's sisters are Hindus. Brothers are Hindus. So that's a whole different perspective. And I just want our viewers to know that, because you might just misunderstand and think I'm talking to you as a new Muslim from Hinduism, but I came from a sort of background like that. Very much. I still have my uncles and aunts who are Hindus. And I mean real strong practicing Hindus. The point I'm getting at is, as a person from Hinduism and into Islam, how do you feel when you hear people bad talk Muslims? What do you think we could do or we should have done to prevent what I mean when people think that Islam is bad and Muslims are bad? You know, when you hear some of the things on the media and other people criticizing all Muslims and Islam. As a person who accepted Islam and came into Islam, what do you think about that? What do you think they should know, or they should better understand, or they have not understood?
Well, reading the Quran makes you a more calm person. It brings out the best in you. And if you can pray your salah, you can read your salah, you would not think that way. You would be more calm and be more understanding towards Islam. That's my...
No, but I'm referring to non-Muslims who think that Muslims are a bunch of bad people, Muslims are a bunch of wild, crazy people. You know, what do you think that they are missing? What have they not understood that they are thinking like that? You get my point? Okay, they see something happen by some crazy Muslim guy somewhere in the world. Somebody with a Muslim name does some madness, and then one guy's think, well, all Muslims are like that. As a person from a non-Muslim background, what do you think they need to know to not think all Muslims are bad?
Well, first of all Muslims are not bad.
Definitely, we know that, yes.
Yeah. And if someone chooses to be bad, they do that on their own.
Yes.
They do that on their own, and they should try, you know, reading and following Islam, and that will more or less bring them down to being a better person.
So, bottom line is, those people who have a misunderstanding about Muslims, they need to better understand what Islam is.
Yes.
And what Islam expects from Muslims.
Yes.
And those Muslims who are not practicing what is expected from them, they are misrepresenting Islam.
Yes.
And it's not that the entire Islam is, as some people say, and you know, they go around promoting in the media and in and around town. Well, anyhow, it was really nice talking to you. It's good to have had that little experience of 36 years ago. You know, most of the people I speak to in recent times are people who have just came into Islam a couple of years, couple of days, couple of months. So it's really interesting talking to you from a Hindu background into Islam, converted to Islam 36 years ago. When we come back after the short break, we want to touch a little bit on your new experiences in learning to read and write Arabic. All right? So please stay tuned. We'll continue our conversation with Sister Kadijah Ali on her journey to Islam. Assalamu alaikum.
When we educate the world, ignorant Muslims as well as non-Muslims, about Islam, the message of the Quran, the lifestyle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then those ignorant people and those people with hate out there, we may not be able to convince everyone, but inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we will be able to convince most of them.
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the believers in the mutual kindness, compassion, and sympathy are just like one body. When any part of the body suffers, the whole body feels pain.
We don't wake up and spread this message of Islam and get people to understand the true message of the Quran and the true life pattern and conduct of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, people will have this sort of hate against us. But the world has 1.5 billion Muslims, beautiful masjids. Muslims got everything, but yet you got a lot of haters, and you got a man shooting people on March 15th in New Zealand. These buildings and these schools did not stop that. We got to spread the message to eradicate that hate and that misunderstanding against Islam and Muslims in the world. The beautiful buildings won't do that.
Assalamu alaikum. Allah gives hikmat, wisdom, to whomsoever He wills. And whomsoever is given wisdom is certainly given a lot of good. Only the people of understanding will benefit from the reminder. Tune in to Alhikmat TV for khutbahs, lectures, and Islamic reminders. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to My Journey to Islam on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. Once more, it is indeed a pleasure to have with us in Alhikmat studio Sister Kadijah Ali. And we have been speaking to Sister Kadijah Ali before we went on the short commercial break, a little bit about her experience in becoming a Muslim. So welcome back to the show, Sister.
Thank you.
Really nice, very interesting. I'm sure that our viewers would definitely be able to take in what you have said and understood your experience, your sincerity, and your devotion. So now that we have spoken about your beginning days when you accepted Islam 36 years ago, you were previously a Hindu, you got married and accepted Islam, and you just willingly started practicing Islam. You enjoyed being a Muslim, you learned a lot, you read. I like the part where you would call your neighbor to teach you to pray Salah. You know, that is very, very interesting, and Allah continue to bless you for that and guide you and protect and guide all of us, inshallah. Tell us a little bit about, in recent years, what sort of development have you seen in your being a Muslim, okay? What sort of development have you seen in being a Muslim 36 years ago and within the last 4 to 5 years? Have you seen a difference? Have you understood better? Have you learned, have you seen things that you did not understand before that it's better understood now? What are some of those areas that you can share with our viewers?
Yeah, I understand a lot more now, and I am getting more experience, and I am getting to love Islam even more. Because it's new now. It's a new understanding.
So like what? For example, what issues? Like any example of what you did not understand much before, or you have a different perspective and understanding?
Well, one of it was pronouncing the Arabic English and the Arabic, and I wanted to read Quran. And
so you always wanted to read Arabic, read the Quran in Arabic?
Yes.
Okay. And what motivated you in wanting to read Arabic or read the Quran in pure Arabic as opposed to English and transliteration, etc.?
Well, I was told in khutbahs that when you read the Arabic in Arabic language, the angels listen and take the message up, and you can enter into Jannah by just reading the Arabic and not just the English. For many years I've been reading it in English. Many a time I read the Quran in English, and I want to go to heaven.
So, I like that. So you have heard in khutbahs that when you read the Arabic, well, I mean, Allah knows best. Whatever language you read the Quran in, you're definitely going to be blessed it's definitely going to be accepted. And Allah is the one who grants Jannah. And that does not mean that if a person does not read Arabic, the person will not go to Jannah. But when you read Arabic, for every letter that you read, you get 10 blessings. So the blessings are more. Listen, it is beyond calculation. Beyond calculation. Every letter, alif, lam, mim, ba, ta. Every letter you get 10 blessings. Could you imagine you're reading the pure Arabic and you're reading the pure Arabic letters? How many blessings you get? Not every word, every letter. So the blessings is beyond. So definitely when you have all these millions and billions of blessings, you're all on a way to go, right? So you were motivated to learn to read Arabic.
Yes.
Wow. And tell us the whole experience.
Well, when I started my my classes in Arabic, in reading the Quran, well, actually I have my Quran on my table. And I would pass, if I passed my table 100 times for the day, I would open the book and practice. Read one line, one word, 2 lines, and I will go back and do it again and again, and I will pronounce it better.
So what motivated you? I mean, I think we'll have to share with our viewers that you come to the classes that we do in teaching people to learn to read and write Quran. But what motivated you to come to the class?
Well, Sister Farida, she said she was coming to the class, and I said, I want to learn to read Quran so bad, and she influenced me and
So this is after how many years? 36 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because I started to read the Quran like about a couple months now, or less.
So you started even though at this age and stage in life, how many kids?
I have 2 kids. They're twins.
2 kids, and you decided you're going to learn to read Quran. And I cannot deny what you're saying about every time you pass, you take a peep to read something.
Yes.
Because I know it doesn't matter how much homework I gave you, you will do it. And I'm always amazed. I was amazed. I told the other students, I said, you know what I am amazed with, Sister Kadijah? It doesn't matter how much homework we give you, you are still doing the homework and bringing it. And I sometimes wonder, where do you get the time to do that? How do you make that time?
I don't know. The time is just like made for me to get that time to do that.
Subhanallah. And I think that really, and how many lessons it took? I'm trying to remember. I think it was about in 6 or 7 lessons you learned to read, start to recite and read Arabic, isn't it?
It's about 6 lessons.
So now you write so beautiful, you recite, and you have learned to read and write the Quran. How do you feel now with that experience?
Oh my gosh, I don't know how to explain it. It's such a wonderful feeling, and I feel loved by Allah.
That you can read and write Quran. Wow. No, I mean, I must say you are a very phenomenal student. There wasn't a day I think I ever gave you homework and you came back without it, huh? Yeah, that is interesting. What would you advise other Muslims, and I mean now Muslims, or new Muslims, who would like to learn to read and write the Quran, not only read it, but to write it? What would you advise them on how easy it is? Because my reason for that is simply because a lot of people think it's difficult to read the Quran, or it's difficult to read Arabic. It is difficult to learn Arabic. You get my point?
Yeah.
They think it's difficult. What would you tell them? You have just gone through that experience.
I think it's very easy. You have to have a lot of patience, and it will come easy, and Allah will make it easy for you to understand. And I think that is what's happening to me.
But not only patience, you made a lot of effort.
Yes, I make a lot of effort.
You put a lot of time in it. And I think that's the point. That's what a lot of people are not doing. They do not make the effort. They expect to sit by the books and just know it in a couple seconds, not realizing that they need to make the effort. But did it sound like Greek or Chinese for you when you started, or was it making sense as you started to do the work? Because you started learning from Alif Ba Ta.
Yes.
You started learning from Alif Ba Ta, and in 6 lessons, you were reading pure Arabic.
Yes.
So when you started, did you feel it will not happen? It's difficult to happen, or what?
Well, when I was practicing to read the Arabic, and my husband would walk past by and it sounds funny to him, he will come and help me. So he motivated me. And my willingness was on the way for me to be practicing.
So you did not feel a setback in any way that after 36 years being a Muslim at this age is going to be difficult and not practical? Did that stop you in any way?
No. No.
Good. So I think you can really be a great motivation to other sisters and brothers who are Muslims, or who are, well, whatever, new Muslims, Muslims by birth, who have not made the effort to read the Quran and the pure Arabic Quran. You are a great motivation to them because you have done it. And you have recently got it done in 6 lessons. Yes. What else would you like to say about yours? When you were learning, when you were studying to read and write Arabic, what else would you like to suggest to our audience in your experience? What, if it was difficult, it was not difficult, what they need to do, what efforts they need to make? Because that's the biggest problem we have out there. And this is a worldwide problem. There are a lot of Muslims, we got the Muslims, but there are a lot of them who think it's difficult, they don't make the time. That's where it is. And you are a perfect example for viewers out there to better understand your efforts and your experience.
To me, it's not difficult. You just have to put your mind to it and make the time, and it will come to you easily.
But a key point you had before, very interesting, you said you wanted Allah to love you more.
Oh, yes.
You want to go to Jannah. I like that. I like that. See, that's the key point. That's the key point. People make effort for things that they think has value. They make effort for those things that they believe got value. Value, rewards, benefits. And if they don't see the value in the Quran, the rewards and the benefits, they will not make the effort. You see the point I'm getting at? A person understands that they need to learn to drive a motor car. They need to get a license so they can go to work, they can go to school, so they can earn, and they see the benefits. But a lot of people do not look at the Quran as an opportunity for getting Jannah, for getting paradise. They do not look at the Quran as an opportunity in pleasing Allah and getting the pleasure and the love and the blessings from Allah. And that was your key point. You said, very early you said, I heard it, that when you learn to read Arabic, I mean, basically what you were saying, that when you learn to read Arabic, the pure Quranic Arabic, you get more blessings. Every letter you get blessings. Every letter you get blessings. So the millions and billions of blessings will be a pathway for Jannah. And you wanted to get Jannah, so you made the effort to read Quran. That's technically what you said,
Yes.
And I think that's what people miss. If they really know that it's about Allah, and it's about paradise, and it's about pleasing Allah, they will make the effort. And therefore, all these people that say, I have no time, I'm too old to learn. Do you know, you hear a lot of people say, I'm too old for that right now. I don't think I could learn to read and write Arabic. And they never make the effort because they have not understood the rewards. So are you going to motivate some sisters now, or what are you going to do? You need to. How are you going to do that? What are you going to do? What are your plans now that you're reading Arabic? and you're writing your surahs and you're reading it?
Well, I would ask them not to give up, because to me it's very simple. It will come easy every day, and it will get better. And I believe that Allah listens to me. I know that He does.
Subhanallah. You have that God-conscious feelings and belief.
Yes.
And trust in Allah.
Yes.
So I think you need to make that effort. You need to make that effort now to encourage others. What do you think about that? Because now you have learned it. And I mean, you're learning, and you're learning more and more, and you're getting more into it. What do you think? Your journey to Islam, yes. But now you got to encourage other people. How? What are some of your strategy and plans in getting other sisters, just as you said Sister Farida motivated you to come to class and to learn to read and write Quran? How are you going to encourage other people?
I hope they can look at this video that is here, because I think that by looking at it, they can see the effort that I put into it, and they would have to more or less put the same effort into it to get the same result that I get.
Because a lot of people do believe that, yeah, you need to learn the Quran when you're a teenager and when you're young and when you're small, not when you get older and you're married and you've got children. They believe it's not for you anymore. That's such a wrong misconception. Because the Prophet, peace be upon him, says that you should seek knowledge from the cradle to the grave.
Yes.
So as long as you're living and you have the ability to, you need to make the effort.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and you are a living example of that. You're really a living example. I must say, you know, when you started coming to classes and I saw how you were doing your work, I was like, wow, this sister is making, and I really had no clue. Believe me, I did not know where you're from. I had no clue you were a new Muslim from 36 years now. I had no clue. All I knew is the sister started coming for classes and you're making a great effort. And I thought, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. So I think you should do some motivational advice to our viewers. What could you tell them? And I think this is not only just being Muslim now. I think you need to motivate some people to learn to read and write Quran. And listen, Muslims, we have a lot of lazy Muslims. Do you know that? I'm sorry to put it like that, but I really mean it. They can do it. They can learn it, but they just don't. I think you could do some dawah, Sister Kadijah. There are a lot of sisters who just go to masjid, pray, go back home, and they will never make the effort to learn to read Quran in pure Arabic and to learn to read it properly, so that when they recite their surahs in prayer, they will recite properly. Okay, let me ask you. Before you learn to read Quran, Arabic, okay, read and write Arabic, did you memorize some of the small surahs for praying salah?
The first one I learned was Kul Hu Allahu Ahad.
Good.
And my neighbor said I can do that, I can use that salah for all of my...
Okay, that's surah in your salah.
Yeah, because I thought the rest was...
Difficult.
Yes. And
they look too long, they
were long, and I knew Kul Hu Allahu Ahad, and I did it for many years, for a couple of years, and then I started to go and
memorize a few others.
Yes.
In your prayer?
In my prayer.
Good.
And now I know a good few more.
Good. But now that you have learned to read the Quran in Arabic, those surahs or those Arabic chapters or surahs that you learned by memory, all right, as we say by heart, or you memorized, you would have learned that from transliteration. Now that you have learned to read the pure Arabic, have you seen a difference in how you pronounced before to what you're reading now?
Yes, there is a difference. It's a little confusing when I started, but I understand that now that I'm reading the Arabic, I get the right pronunciation, and I can say it a little bit easier. Well, a lot more easier.
Easier, better, correct pronunciation as opposed to how you learned it before. Because when you learned it before, you learned it through transliteration.
Yeah.
And you just learned it by hearing. So you were just reciting what you thought you heard best. But now you know what you're reading.
Yes.
So you feel more confident in what you're reading. You know what you're reading.
Yeah.
And I understand that it would have been a little complicated because your tongue was already adjusted to certain pronunciation. Yes. And now when you read the Arabic, to undo that gets a little difficult. But this is where the line of perfection comes.
Yeah, it was a little difficult.
Yeah, because you had to adjust to the right path.
I had to adjust actually 3 times in English, and the English Arabic, and now the real Arabic.
Oh yes, you started praying in English.
Yes.
And then you went to transliteration.
Yes.
Huh?
And
now you've gone to pure Arabic.
Yeah.
What a change, what a change, what an experience. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. So I'm back with my question. How are you going to motivate other sisters to do that? And I think you should, because you have seen the light. And you have made the effort. You need to encourage other sisters who do not read the pure Arabic.
Well, if someone tried to, like with me, try to read it and it sounds funny, or people might find that it's something to laugh about, they just keep trying, and then they're gonna get the easy pronunciation as they go along. But they should not give up. They should keep trying.
I mean, as you said, I mean, it's nothing to laugh about, really.
Well,
it's about some people feel shy and they feel they've read it wrong. But I don't think people should feel like that in learning. That is what learning is all about.
Yeah.
That's what being a student and studying Islam is all about. And that's the process. Actually, the Prophet, peace be upon him, says that a person gets double blessings when you're trying to learn something, learn the Quran, and it's a little struggle, and it's difficult, and you try and you make the effort to learn it, you get double blessings.
Yeah, you try.
Double blessings.
Yeah. You try and try, but then you get the encouragement from somewhere, and you will.
Of course, from Allah's guidance, from Allah's blessings and Allah's hidayah and guidance, because you're making the effort to learn. And even though it's difficult and you got to make more effort and struggle, you get double blessings. And I think that's where you need to motivate some of the sisters around, whether it's in America, it's in Trinidad, or wherever you have friends and associates. You can motivate them and say, now, after 36 years, I have learned to read and write Quran, and it was so nice, it was so easy, and it may look difficult, but you need to make the intention and make the effort, inshallah. That's the bottom line, sister.
Yes.
All right, so we have been talking again. We have gone on for more than 20 minutes again in the second half of this program. So what would you like to share with our viewers? We're going to conclude the program now. Any advice, any suggestions, anything that you thought I should have asked you and I did not ask you that you would like to share with our viewers worldwide? We have people look at this show from all over the world, all over the world.
I believe that Islam makes you want to be a better person. It conditions you to be a kind person, to be an honest person, and if you want to do better in life, I think Islam, you should try reading the Arabic and practicing Islam, because that's what it done to me.
Subhanallah. And read the Quran and try to study what you're reading and better understand. Well, it was a pleasure to have you with us on the show, Sister Kadijah. It was really a blessing, great motivation, and I'm sure viewers would have learned a lot from your experience as a new Muslim. Well, I mean, when I say a new Muslim, one who have accepted Islam 36 years ago. Not necessarily, when we say new Muslim, it doesn't have no age really. It could have been 6 years ago, 36 years ago. But you came from Hinduism into Islam You have studied, you have learned, and you're practicing, and in recent times you started to learn to read and write Arabic. That is a great, great motivation for viewers and for a lot of people out there. So thank you very much for coming to Alhikmat Studio and to be on this show, My Journey to Islam, on Alhikmat TV 24/7 online. And thank you very much, our viewers out there. Stay tuned, and you can tune into Alhikmat TV 24/7 online, or you can follow our interviews and our talk shows on YouTube, on Facebook, on social media, etc. Thank you very much again, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All praises are due to Allahu Allah. All praises are due to Allahu Allah. Allahu 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 Allah. Allahu.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you would like to dedicate copies of one of these publications as Sadaqah Jariyah, continuous blessings for your parents or dear ones who have passed away, or fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah, please give us a call so we can place your names on these dedicated publications. You can call us at 954-986-0158, or you can also visit us at www.alhikmat.com.
Allah is the creator of different faces. Allah is the creator of all races. Allahu, 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 Allah.
Royal Bengal Trading, importer, exporter, wholesaler of Bangladeshi Indo-Pak groceries and spices. We specialize in various authentic Indian masalas, juices, flours, rices, and spices. We offer exclusive brands as Ocean Pearl, Shan, National, Tilda, Himani, and many, many more. We're located at 36B Caroni Savannah Road, Charlieville, Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago. You can call us at 473-4676 or call 476-3117. Email us at wahabdk@gmail.com. Now open Sajida exclusive for all of your Islamic and casual wear. We carry a large selection of silk route and al-karam gowns, scarves, hijabs, hijab pins, and many other accessories. We have exclusive Swarovski gold-filled and sterling silver jewelry. We are located in store 143, Caroni Savannah Road, Charlieville, Chaguanas, located on the opposite side of TNT Chicken Hut. For more info, you can call 328-6682 or 295-5400.
Fens, the single largest specialty retailer of residential and office furniture, consumer electronics, home appliances, and household items in Trinidad and Tobago. At Fens, we offer a large selection of high-quality products, honest and reliable service. We are passionate about serving you, and we're proud of the standard of excellence upheld by our knowledgeable staff, friendly delivery teams, and dedicated customer care associates. Visit Fens First, your friendly furniture, appliance, and electronic dealer since 1960.
Truly he is the one, he has no father or son.